Yeah.
know?
Oh yeah. Whenever I picked up Snake on Elite, I'm like, there's no way it's this easy, right? And I'm like wrong every time.
You know, when you want to get to like the mid level, Snake will do like very well for you. Like if you want to go 2 and 2 pretty quickly, you can get there with Snake.
Yeah, there's a lot of characters like that. Let's be real.
But to get to like through the high level to like the top level, I figure it does take a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean every character is hard when you have to deal with people who are trying.
It's true. It's true. Well, you know, 89 out of the 90 characters, but well, 88 honestly.
87.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, we can
right.
keep chopping them down.
We know. I mean, we know. That's the 3.
Yeah.
That's the 3. And you all, I don't even have to say it. You all are on the same page as me. You understand. I will say we used to. I want to start doing it up here. This is actually the matchup I was going to bring up because I was going to talk about how back in Dallas we.
I'm sorry, I had a stroke reading Drugstorecupid.
Drugstorecupid.
I thought I was. So what are you saying about this matchup, Kimona?
Well, so what I was going to bring up is that back in Dallas we worked with the Dallas school district just for like the main city, and they ran esports tournaments as like an extracurricular thing.
Cool.
And for the high school, the elementary school tournaments would get like 750 entrants. And
damn.
you would run, you know, single elimination, but you'd have like pool captains. You run like a major, you know, King K. Rool and Donkey Kong are winning every time. But in the high school tournaments, these were the 2 characters. There were 3 very good Snakes and 1 incredibly good Game & Watch. And those were the 4 people that would win those all the time. Big shout-outs to Puffy Luffy and Alvin762. Quite good.
Yeah, I ran a few high school tournaments when this game first came out. And I knew enough about TOing at that point to where it wasn't really a big issue. Like, I could run double elim, no problem. I just remember there was this one kid who lost in, like, Zelda DDD, and he turned around, so he did the thing where he, like, smiles and goes, like, I hope you fail and lose. And, like, wow.
Dang.
Yeah, we all are 15, aren't we? That's fucked up.
At a certain point, I mean, you do sympathize a little bit, but, you know.
Yeah, it is Zelda. I understand.
But this matchup, not the easiest for Snake. You don't get to just spam grenades. I mean, you can if you want to live dangerously.
Bit of a low roll. I appreciate the Snakes out there who are like, yeah, if I just give him Bucket, like he can't reflect anything anymore. Like they just kind of like, what is it, like learned helplessness? It's like, yeah, I'll deal with the fucked forever situation that'll kill me at 20 if it means that you can't throw anything back at me.
Yeah, this is the test of like either will, which is that, or it's just the test of like, okay, do you have your CQC down? Can you actually play Metal Gear? Which it looks like Arpeggio kind of can. They're kind of cooking.
At least you got like up tilt for any situation. Yeah, see ya. Up tilt for any situation where the Game & Watch does manage to get a little bit closer than like 20 feet in front of you. I remember Arpeggio in my brain is notable for I would play Arpeggio a bit in friendlies, and they would do neutral get up, and I can just hear like it's the C stick. They are trying to up tilt me with like fervor, and I'm like okay, and then I just like hold shield, and then I fuck up and I get up tilted again because it's still happening. But like no, this is someone who is, I would argue, is 100% dedicated to that up tilt. Once you get past 70, you know what time it is.
Yeah, there are. Just as there are foxes that are up smashers, there are snakes that are up tilters. Like,
actually.
MVD, not an up tilter.
Yeah.
Arpeggio, is an up tilter, you know?
Dude, yeah, really trying to get in with this burst offering right now. This is, God, I don't know. Like, something about this matchup feels weird to watch. Like, it's evil, but, like, I don't... In both ways, it's evil, I feel like. It's just like one of them is losing.
I think that to an extent there is a bit of I think that Drugstorecupid is like kind of playing this correctly, which is playing like a boss fight. That is what Snake has difficulty dealing with. If you just spam this difficult to punish stuff, you stay out of that burst range of Snake, then you'll do fine. But you know, you mess up your recovery a little bit. Arpeggio can find something like that stray up tilt. Now it's on you to get in on Snake, who says, well, I mean, good luck, I'm Snake.
Yeah, the game might have rounded up there for that up tilt to land. I wasn't ready for that to hit Game & Watch's head like that. Still got a full stock lead. By the way, pick an FD for your first game. This feels a little like get it out of the way kind of strategy.
I think for Arpeggio there is like a leaning into like that boss fight aspect where like you're seeing a lot of this like up B down air, figure out a way to get around the up airs. And if you're on FD, you can very simply start to figure that out. There are no platforms to complicate any of this. And you just start to take note of like, okay, so this is where the gaps are. This is where I can get a punish, right? There's that dash attack. There's that roll. Arpeggio's picking up on a lot of those small little things. Oh, that's unfortunate.
Dude, I'm going to be honest. I have not seen a Game & Watch hit not one today, and I teamed with Snickledorf. Like, I think like Decisive Judge is enabled on this setup. You either get a 1 or a 9, and so far everyone has missed.
It's a beautiful day is what it is. It's a blessed day.
Yeah.
One's only.
The net gain, or the net damage I've seen from Game & Watch players rolling Judge today has been like -40. It is preposterously bad luck
Nothing
today.
going right. 3 for big shield damage, though. The fan hit.
I mean, right now, you've got like a pretty sizable deficit. You got to really watch out for anything like that up tilt dash attack. Yep.
Yeah.
All right, check out this one. Second this guy lands. Oh, never mind.
Cupid is definitely looking for the watch me make this stock disappear, but instead we're getting those anti-airs. Again, you know, you break it down to the simplest aspects, right? If this is a boss fight, you want to fly around the screen, make it hard for me to touch you. I just got to wait for your landing. If you're not going to down air, if you're too far for me to use that, then
5 minutes.
big legs coming.
Yeah, honest to God, like, you don't need... I feel like we're seeing a situation where Arpeggio isn't really concerning himself with the need to observe anything other than the way that you can kill this person right now. Like, that up tilt, maybe sometimes that dash attack, that was all we were really seeing, and it was working completely fine. It's good to be able to narrow your perspective down to, like, what matters. If you're concerned with every like Game & Watch forward air bomb that's landing on you and he's auto-canceling with, like, you're going to get fried. Just like up tilt, you know?
Keep it simple. I mean, again, I think there is a point in brackets sometimes where you have to recognize that, like, sometimes your opponent is going to make enough mistakes that you can win off of their mistakes rather than you having to make, you know, huge outplays and, like, the most correct decisions ever or condition people into doing something. Like, if your opponent will make mistakes, you take advantage of them. That's what Arpeggio has been doing a very good job of so far because, again, I think that part of what makes that, like, boss fight gameplay from Game & Watch very effective is when there are no gaps and when it is, like, Meister level of you're trying to find that gap, you're trying to find that mistake, and there is not one.
Yeah, I mean, I can think of a few times where Game & Watch has, like, some genuine opportunities to get hit, but, like, they're honestly pretty thin. You kind of have to get the call out at some point or another. Kind of like that forward throw. Nope, that's just a normal grab. I would have done a forward throw, but I think I wouldn't have killed. I'm going to trust the Snake player's opinion on this one.
Definitely wouldn't have killed yet. Yeah, I think it would be another 20 or so, and that's if the DI is not perfect.
Wow, you are moving everywhere. You're going to get hit. Well, can you guys, like, roll, like, a not prime number?
This is actually crazy. Something divisible by anything else.
Yeah.
There's that anti-air again.
Yeah, we are looking at pretty decent lead right now for Arpeggio. It's now more of a concern of, like, how are they going to play the lead, because we didn't see too much of a lead in the first game, but now this is a pretty sizable one to work with, I would say. Okay, that was a wave bounce. Yeah, you're taking 40.
Yeah. Back in. When Snake approaches with a grenade in hand, I'm like, what are you doing? Get away from me. Yeah,
look at how much, like, whenever we're playing neutral here, I feel like Arpeggio is, like, dashing back to this exact same range every time, and it is making this frustrating for Game & Watch, because Game & Watch, big hitboxes, not a whole lot to do with them if your opponent's not really already inside of them. Not much to approach with, you are gone.
Yes,
not much to approach with, you're kind of just setting up a wall, slowly piecing your way in, but Snake's got so much bullshit, so much frame data that that can get frustrating. Yeah, boom, 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 take like 30.
Well, you know what's interesting is that I think that the core gameplay of what, like, makes Game & Watch good in this game is that he has the aspects, like, what makes a rushdown character good. I think that that's what makes Game & Watch good, but he doesn't play as a rushdown character. He is a rushdown character, but only in his own space. Yeah, if that makes any sense, like, he presses buttons that you are going to have to find a way to deal with, but it's just not running at you. It is occupying a space, and now you have to challenge him for it.
Yeah, I mean, I have definitely seen Game & Watch players just kind of, you know, go in like that. But the thing is, like, to get some of the most, like, disgusting hitboxes. Oh, there's a C4 on you, by the way. Yeah, you're keeping that bucket on you for sure. You're dead.
Oh, yeah, gone.
Bye-bye.
One explosion deserves another. The mortar into the C4. Just really well played by Arpeggio, right? Just decided to play a game of let's see who makes fewer mistakes. And I think that Arpeggio just made fewer mistakes.
Yeah, really played that one consciously. It was, you know, not great at the start. but eventually pulled away with good damage, good advantage state. Really just respecting the range of Game & Watch. Yeah, see right there. Did I get called?
Really, really good knowledge of
I am getting called.
where stuff is played. All right, well,
All right.
you go play.
Okay.
Yeah, if you can get somebody to hop on, and if not, then I'll just take a quick break and go pee, because I kind of have to. But I'll stick here with you all for a moment. I may step away.